hello to all the NEET aspirants. This is your Prasanna Ma'am from NEET World, and today we are going to exercise questions on diversity in life forms, that is living world. Of course, it is very true that from this chapter we get very minimal question, hardly one question from this chapter. But then from this chapter the questionnaires when we solve, most of the questions will be like statement based or example based. As such only questions will be like assertion reason based questions will be more from this chapter. Okay. So, it is easy to solve, and this chapter is connected with many others like cell the unit of life, cell cycle, cell division. So, as such we have to solve the questions. Let us begin with the questionnaire practice so that we will get proper idea on how the questions are being asked. Okay. So, first if you see, which of the following sets does not contain defining characteristics of living organisms? So, initially in the living world we have two sets, one is characteristic features of living and second will be defining features of living. Characteristic features of living include growth and reproduction, which are characteristic for the living organisms. They can be seen in living and non-living things, and they might not be observed in all the living organisms. Whereas defining feature of the living includes metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. So, here if we have to look into the options, growth and reproduction, these are the characteristic features, metabolism, cellular level of organization, these are the defining features, response to the external stimuli is the defining feature. So, amongst all these three options, which is the characteristic feature of living, growth and reproduction. Growth and reproduction are the characteristic features of living which are not defining. And next, so this question you look into, all the living organisms are linked to one another, because how living organisms are linked to one another, that we have observed in 7 obligate taxons or categories. Once let us look into the options and find out the most evident reason for this question. So, here if you have to look into it, they have common genetic material of the same type. No, they have common genetic material of course, but that is not of the same type. They share common genetic material, but to varying degrees. This is true. The common genetic material is shared from progeny to all the different organisms, be it from the prokaryote to the eukaryotic cell. Common genetic material is shared, but it is up to varying degrees. All have common cellular organization. No, all of them will not have common cellular organization. Few have tissue level, few organ level organization, few organ system level of organization is there. Not all the above. So, what option we have to choose over here? Option B will be the right answer. Next question. So, this you look into. Select the correct combination amongst these 4. Plants limited cell division. In plants, limited cell division will not happen because cells in plants will show indefinite or indeterminate growth. Okay. So, they do not show limited cell division. Second is animals. Cell division throughout the lifespan in all types of cells. No, cell division is only up to limited period of time in animals. Next, unicellular organisms, growth observation by microscope. Yes, in unicellular organisms, growth is synonymous with reproduction, because as they grow, they increase in the cell number and as they will occupy the complete space. So, unicellular growth is clearly observed by the microscope. And D is living organisms is external growth. No, living organism will show intrinsic growth. Intrinsic growth, not extrinsic growth. Intrinsic irreversible growth is observed in living organisms. Extrinsic reversible growth is seen in non-living things. So, here what option we have to go with? Option C will be the right answer. Next is match the following type of question. Good afternoon everyone. Continue with the questions, So, here match the following question. This is about the reproduction types. Quite a times the question on the reproduction and its examples were asked in the previous NEET papers. So, here if you see, first is yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Yeast will increase its growth, yeast will reproduce through what? Budding. Okay. So, P will be 2. P here is 2. Yeast will reproduce through budding. And Hydra also reproduce through what? Budding. So Q is also budding. Then Protonema of mosses. Protonema of mosses is through fragmentation. Filamentous algae is through fragmentation. Planaria will reproduce through what? Regeneration, that is 1. Flatworms again through fragmentation. So here if you have to look into the options carefully, ma, P will be 2, Q is 2, R 3, S will be 3 and T is 1, U is 3 again. So yes, this will be option A. Flatworms will show regeneration again, sorry, flatworms regeneration. Once again you see yeast will reproduce by budding, Hydra also by budding, Protonema of mosses, filamentous algae is by fragmentation, planaria and flatworms by regeneration. Clear, right, ma? Next question. Yeah. What is true with respect to consciousness? So the question is about consciousness, that is response to external stimuli, which is also called as irritability. So this consciousness, that is response to external stimuli, is observed in all type of organisms, be it unicellular or multicellular organisms. So here if you look into, all organisms are aware of themselves, aware of themselves. This is self consciousness, which is only for human beings, not for other animals. Next, all organisms handle chemicals entering their bodies. Yes, this is consciousness. All organisms will handle chemicals entering their bodies. Prokaryotic organisms do not respond to environmental cues. Wrong. Prokaryotic organisms will also respond to the environmental cues. Human beings are not self-conscious, human beings are self-conscious. So here option B will be the right answer. Next question. Yeah. So study 4 statements, again a statement based question. Paramjit, good afternoon, ma. Continue with the questionnaire. Study the 4 statements, that is 1 to 4 given below, and select 2 correct ones out of them. We have to select 2 correct statements from this. Statement 1 you look into, definition of biological species was given by Ernst Mayr. Yes, Ernst Mayr proposed biological concept of species, wherein he said that 2 organisms when reproduce, when they can produce the fertile offspring, then they belong to the same species. Okay, photoperiod does not affect reproduction in plant. No, photoperiodism will play a major role in flowering of the plant, that is reproduction. Next, binomial nomenclature system was given by R.H. Whittaker. Wrong. Binomial nomenclature is given by whom? Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus, whereas R.H. Whittaker has proposed 5 kingdom system of classification. Next, in unicellular organisms, reproduction is synonymous with growth. Yes, correct. In unicellular organisms, reproduction is synonymous with growth. So here if you see what are the correct statements, very good, ma, we want, that is option C, 1 and 4. Okay. Next question. Biosystematics aims for or aims at delimiting various taxa of organisms and establishing their relationships. No, the classification of organism is based on broad spectrum of morphological characters. So it is not just on morphological characters. And third, if you see, identification and arrangement of organisms on basis of cytological characters, that is, it is focusing on both morphological and internal characters. But no, option D if you see, ma, the classification of organism is based on their evolutionary history. So when taxonomy along with their evolutionary history or evolutionary relationships is called as what? Biosystematics, wherein characterization, identification, nomenclature, classification and evolutionary relationships will come into picture. So these 5 are included in biosystematics. So here the classification of organisms based on their evolutionary history and establishing their phylogeny on the totality of various parameters from all the fields of studies. Option D will be the right answer over here. Clear, right, ma? Next question. This one you see, assertion and reason type of question. Okay. In assertion, The system of providing a scientific name to any organism is called as binomial nomenclature. Okay. Yes, this is true. The system of providing a scientific name to any organism is called as binomial nomenclature. Correct. In reason, each taxonomy group should have two names. Each taxonomy group should have two names. No. Each taxon cannot have two names, but each organism scientific name should have two epithets. One is generous and the second is specific epithet. So, here assertion is true and reason will be false. That is option C. Okay. Next question. Yeah. So, here you look into which of the following statements is or are true. Okay. True or false statements we have to see. Growth cannot be taken as defining property of living organisms. Yes, just now we have learned, because in growth we have two types, extrinsic growth and intrinsic growth. Extrinsic growth is in non-living things, so we cannot consider growth as defining features, as it is also observed in non-living things. Panthera pardus is a scientific name of leopard in which Panthera represents specific epithet. Wrong. In this, Panthera is representing genera or genus. Third, if you see, in binomial nomenclature, biological names are derived from Latin, okay, irrespective of their origin. True. In binomial nomenclature, biological names are derived from Latin. And then in plants, orders with few similar characters are assigned to division. Okay. So, once you recall all the 7 obligate taxonomic categories: kingdom, division or phylum, class, order, genus, species. Species, genus, family, right? Family, genus, species. These are the 7 obligate categories. So, those few characters which are group of similar characters in families are grouped and they are placed in similar order, not in similar division. So, 4th we can eliminate. What are the correct options, ma? Option 1 and option 3 goes right here. So, here option B is the right answer, where 1 and 3 are true. Very good. Next, this question you look into, match the following and choose the correct option. So, here all the terms are given and we have to place them in the respective taxonomic category. So, here if you look into family, Solanaceae we can take, right? Solanaceae is family where the suffix is AC. You can easily identify by the suffix ma. So, here suffix is AC, family, which is 5. Next, kingdom, Plantae or Animalia, these are the 2 kingdoms, right, which is 4. Okay. And order, Polymoniales, if it is ending with the suffix ales, then it is order, that is option 2. Next is what? Species, that is Solanum tuberosum. Tuberosum will be species, Solanum is the genus. So, here it will be 1 and here it will be 3. Okay. So, look at the options carefully. A is 5, B is 4, C will be 2 and E is 3, D is 1. Option A will be the right answer. Clear, right, ma'am? Next question. Yes. Look at the question carefully. Here we have 2 questions. 2 plants can be conclusively said to belong to the same species if they can produce freely, they can reproduce freely with each other and form seeds. Yes, means those are this comes under the concept of Ernst Mayr, biological concept of species, where they can reproduce freely and they can produce or form seeds, fertile seeds. Have more than 90% of similar genes? No. Look similar and possess identical secondary metabolites? No. Secondary metabolites has no role here to play with. They have same number of chromosomes? No. So, here 2 plants can be conclusively said to belong to the same species based on the biological concept of species by Ernst Mayr. They should reproduce freely and provide fertile offspring. So, here it is option A. And next question you look into, this is an application based question. Look at here carefully. Nicotiana sylvestris flowers only during long days and Nicotiana tabacum flowers only during short days. In laboratory, they can be induced to flower at the same time and can be cross fertilized to produce an offspring. Okay, they can induce flowering and they can reproduce, they can be cross fertilized to produce offspring. What is the best reason for considering Nicotiana sylvestris and Nicotiana tabacum as separate species? How can we confirm that they are separate species? What is the most applicable explanation for this? They cannot interbreed in nature. Okay, this is the most evident reason to say that these two are belonging to two different species. They are worked to reproduce in the laboratory, but not in nature naturally. So, they cannot interbreed in nature. Option A will be the right answer. Very good. Next, look at these questions again. This type of questions we can expect based on the families, based on the taxonomic categories and examples. Select the incorrect set from the following. We have to select the incorrect set. Polymoniales, Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae. Yes, these both belong to the order Polymoniales. Two families, that is Convolvulaceae and Solanaceae, belongs to the order Polymoniales. Correct. Next, gorilla and gibbon belongs to Primata. True. Cat and dog belongs to Felidae. Wrong. Cat belongs to the family Felidae. Dog belongs to Canidae. Okay. Next, Panthera includes leopard and tiger. They have the same genus. So, here what will be the right answer? Option C, because he has asked us for the incorrect set. Which one is mismatched pair? What is the mismatched pair over here? Very good Vinay. Yes. Wheat Triticum aestivum, true. Housefly Musca domestica, mango Azadirachta directa indica, wrong. Mango is Mangifera indica. Okay, lion is Panthera leo, done. Next, select the incorrect statement from the following. Okay, incorrect statement from the following. Mangifera, Solanum and Panthera represent generic epithets, correct. Petunia and Datura belong to the family Solanaceae, true. Leo, aestivum and Musca represent specific epithets, wrong, because Musca is genera. Okay. So, here option C will be the right answer. Mango belongs to the order Sapindales, true. So, here he asked us to identify the incorrect set. So, we have to go with the option C. Okay. Next question. Look at here ma. Match the following type of question again. Match column 1 and column 2 for housefly classification and select the correct option using codes given below. We have to use the codes given below and we have to identify. Very good. Family is Diptera. Just a second. Phylum you can go with Arthropoda, that is option 2. Class Insecta, which is 4. Order Diptera, that is 1, and family is Muscidae, that is option 3. Now you identify easily. A is 3, B will be 1, C is 4 and D is 2. Option B will be the right answer. Next question you look into, which one of the following is an order? Okay, which one of the following is order? Carnivora. Carnivora is the order. Canis is genus. Trypanosoma is a strain and Familiaris is species. Okay. So, here the order is what? A. Next question you see ma. All living organisms are linked to one another because. How all living organisms are linked to one another? This question is repeated because they have common genetic material at varying degrees. So, here what is the right answer? They share common genetic material at varying degrees. Option A will be the right answer. Because that common genetic material varying in different degrees, okay, that is said by Carl Woese when he is saying 6 kingdom system of classification, that progenote is the common ancestor for all the organisms. That progenote will have common genetic material, that is 16S rRNA, okay, which is found in all the types of organisms, but then it is in varying degrees. Okay. Now, the last question of this session, hold on, pause and look into it carefully. Identify the correct sequence of taxonomic hierarchical arrangement in ascending order of the following. Okay, we have to identify in ascending order of the following. So, look into it properly. First is genus, that is Mangifera indica, in that Mangifera is the genus. Next is Anacardiaceae, which is family. Sapindales is order. Next, Dicotyledons, it will be the class. Spermatophyta will be the division. Okay. So, here if you see here division, order, that is Sapindales, Dicotyledons will be class, Anacardiaceae family and genus. So, this will be the right answer when the question is asked about descending order, not ascending order. This you see Mangifera, that is genus, immediately after that class has come. So, we can't go with this, and here Dicotyledon starting only is with class. So, we cannot go with this option as well, and the right answer will be C. Okay, wherein Mangifera, that is genus, family Anacardiaceae, order Sapindales, Dicotyledons class and division, that is Spermatophyta. This is a solid questionnaire for the first chapter, that is Living World. Tomorrow we will begin the previous year NEET question session for biological classification. Don't miss the sessions at Alma, where we are going to cover all the NEET PYQs, which boost our preparation for NEET 2026. Okay. So, that is all for today's session. Thank you.